Well, you got a lot of stories to choose from.
Sorry?
You got a lot of stories to choose from.
Oh, for the commissioners meeting? How do y'all spend all night?
Beverly, are we good? Hey, Beverly, we all good? You got it ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's February 20th, 2024 City Council meeting, and would ask that you please silence all electronic devices. As a matter of note, Council Member Ronnie Wall is absent from tonight's meeting. We do have other members present to suffice with a quorum, and we fully understand his absence for tonight's meeting. At this time, please join me for the invocation. Father, we gather this evening to conduct the business of our city. Lord, we ask that you lead, guide, and direct us in all endeavors. Please provide this council with knowledge and wisdom from above, that our decisions will be in the best interest of Burlington and all those involved. Lord, there are many needs within our city and within our county. Some are complicated and some without clear answers. We ask for the energy and the resolve to continue to move forward against any and all obstacles, and that you shower us with your many blessings as we seek the solutions necessary to solve these problems. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless our economic interests. We trust that the direction and the drive that we have will have the financial resources to see our needs fulfilled. We thank you for the prayers heard and the good news of progress accomplished towards many of our goals. Lord, may we continue to hold on to the faith that your hand will guide us in the direction necessary to continue our growth and success. Lord, thank you for our many staff members and for those that serve on our advisory boards and commissions. May their work be recognized, for without it, our work could not begin. And Lord, we ask that you bless and protect our first responders. Please look over them, keep them safe. These things we ask, and in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Next item on the agenda is the Code of Ethics disclosing conflicts of interest. At this time, we'll recognize City Clerk Beverly Smith.
Members of council, it is my responsibility to remind you of your duties and no conflicts of interest. I ask if there are any potential conflicts concerning tonight's agenda items.
Thank you. Our next item is the approval of minutes from the February 6th, 2024 City Council meeting. At this time, we will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Our next item is the adoption of the agenda. At this time, we will entertain a motion on the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Our next item is the consent agenda. These items are typically non-controversial. If anyone has any questions about the following items, please let us know. Item A, to adopt a resolution amending the existing lease of property located at the Joe Davidson Park Tower, located at 3715A Rural Retreat Road, to New Singular Wireless PCS LLC for the purpose of providing cellular and wireless internet service following a 30-day legal advertisement. Item B, to authorize an amendment extending the interlocal agreement between the City of Burlington and Guilford County for property tax collection for 5 additional years, expiring on June 30th, 2029. Item C, to adopt a resolution authorizing the Burlington Fire Department to apply for the 2023 FEMA Assistance to Firefighter Grant Program for the replacement of self-contained breathing apparatus. Item D, to approve Budget Amendment 2024-28 for the Police Department to allocate funds donated by Impact Alamance for the purpose of training staff in matters related to opioid response. And item E, to approve Budget Amendment 2024-29 for the John Robert Kernodle Senior Center to allocate grant funds awarded by Seniors Health Insurance Information Program, or SHIP. At this time, we'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Our next item will be moving into our public hearings this evening. We do have 2 public hearings on the agenda. If you have an interest in one of the two, we will certainly call on you at the appropriate time for those items during public comments. Item 1, a public hearing has been scheduled to consider a request to rezone property located on the northeast corner of the intersection of Maple Avenue and Flushing Street and bound by Thomas Avenue on the east, addressed as 1214 Maple Avenue, and consisting of Alamance County Tax ID number 133004. At this time, we'll recognize our Planning Director, Jamie Lawson. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, everyone. So this item has been properly noticed and was also presented to you at your February 5th work session. The property is highlighted as shown in teal. It is a request to rezone the property. The current zoning is heavy industrial, and the request is to change the zoning to light industrial. I did put a little PowerPoint together. And so this just highlights the difference between the existing zoning, which is heavy industrial, to light industrial. The applicant is only requesting 10 uses that are allowed in the light industrial zoning district. The bottom 3 that are in white, manufacturing light, maker space, and warehouse storage, those are all existing permitted uses. They are adding in the uses that are in yellow, religious institutions, coffee shops, event venue, gymnasium, fitness center, indoor commercial rec, restaurant, indoor and outdoor, and retail other. Let me just flip back to the future. Want me to stay on that slide for a second?
Yes. Jamie, the next slide, what's the size of that particular piece of property we're looking at here now? What is it?
The next slide is the next case, but this property is 0.89 acres. It's like 37,000 square feet. I'll go back to the map so you can see it a little bit better. Maple Avenue is here, and Flushing Street is it's on the corner.
And that existing structure isn't still in place, is it not correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So, just looking at the future land use designation for this area, the existing zoning, as is some of the other properties in that area that are heavy industrial, are all inconsistent currently with the future land use designation, which is shown in this orange shade as traditional residential. Staff has recommended this rezoning request with the recommendation as the proposed zoning will move more into conformance with the future land use designation. Currently, it is heavy industrial and would allow any and all uses that are in the heavy industrial zoning district. So they have pared down the request, and these are the only uses that they're requesting on this slide, 10 of them. The Planning and Zoning Commission also recommended this rezoning request, and the applicant is here in the back in case you have any questions, and I am certainly available if you have any questions for me.
Just for clarity for the minutes, this subject property is currently zoned heavy industrial HI, and the applicant's requesting a light industrial limited use LILU rezoning.
That is correct,
Yep.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Jamie, or are there any questions for the applicant?
So Jamie, just for everybody's sake, could you explain the difference in those two zoning classifications in reference to what's there now and what's being requested?
The difference between what's there now, so the current zoning is this shape. It's heavy industrial. Any use that's allowed in the heavy industrial zoning district could occur on this property by right. They are requesting, the applicant is requesting a limited use rezoning request to the light industrial zoning district, but only requesting 10 uses. And those, if approved, they could only have those 10 uses that I mentioned before: a religious institution, a coffee shop, event venue, gymnasium, indoor commercial recreation, restaurants, retail, manufacturing light, makerspace, and warehouse. Those are the only uses that could occur on the property if the zoning was approved.
So 88 other uses were excluded.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep,
And P and Z approved this
unanimously.
unanimously.
Any other questions for Jamie? Are there any for the applicant? Okay. This is a public hearing, so at this time we'll open the floor for any public comments on item 1 under the public hearings. Is there anyone on this side of the room that would like to speak on this subject? Is there anyone on this side that would like to speak on this subject? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? This public hearing is closed. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve or deny the rezoning as indicated on your green sheet.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the request to rezone the property from heavy industrial HI to light industrial limited use LILU. The property is located on the northeast corner of the intersection of Maple Avenue and Flushing Street and bound by Thomas Avenue on the east, addressed as 1214 Maple Avenue and consisting of Alamance County Tax Identification Number 133004. While the request is inconsistent with the future land use map in Section 4 land use of the comprehensive plan, in that it calls for this area to have traditional residential uses, the request is compatible with the existing residential and non-residential uses and zoning districts in the area. The requested list of limited uses will provide opportunities for additional goods and services in character with the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed rezoning moves the property more into conformance with the future land use map compared to the existing heavy industrial HI zoning, and provides a transition between the medium density residential MDR district and a mix of uses along Maple Avenue. This action is reasonable and in the public interest, and that the comprehensive plan encourages a sustainable balance of land uses. The request is compatible with the existing zoning and land uses in the area.
Thank you, Councilmember Ward. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion, that request is approved. Thank you. Moving to our next item, item 2. A public hearing has been scheduled to consider a request to rezone property from neighborhood business NB to general business limited use GBLU. The property is located on the southwest corner of the intersection of Avon Avenue and South Mebane Street on the west side of Avon Avenue, addressed as 806 South Mebane Street, and consisting of Alamance County Tax Identification Number 135384. At this time, we'll recognize Planning Director Jamie Lawson once again.
Good evening again. So this is the second rezoning request. The property is highlighted here in teal as well. It is at the corner of South Mebane Street and Avon Avenue. The current zoning of the property is neighborhood business. It's shown here on the zoning map. And the applicant is requesting to change the zoning from neighborhood business to general business. Let me pull up PowerPoint again. And so this slide highlights the difference between the existing zoning and what they're being proposed. So the applicant is requesting 16 uses. All of the uses that are highlighted, the difference between the existing zoning and what is being proposed is highlighted in yellow. The current zoning, neighborhood business, allows for all of the uses that are shown here. Every single use is allowed under neighborhood business, except for the one that is highlighted in yellow, which is automobile sales or rental. So the applicant is requesting to add that use. And if the zoning changes from neighborhood business to general business, then the density for the residential multifamily would increase from 4 dwelling units to 24 dwelling units per acre. So that's the two major differences: the increase in density and the addition of automobile sales for rental. Any questions on that?
Go back to the residential use classification changing. That's a pretty dramatic change from 4 to 24.
I'm sorry,
That's really a dramatic change in
Oh, yeah.
4 to 24.
The density of
Yeah.
use.
Density is a real change. Explain how that really would impact the community, if indeed that's the case, and if that was to occur in the future.
Yeah, I am not sure exactly how many units they could actually get. Let me go back to the aerial. There's an existing building there right now. So in my opinion, they could have the property's only 1/3 of an acre. So you really wouldn't get that many units to begin with, even under the current zoning, which is neighborhood business, which is probably way more in line with the residential character of the area. The property is surrounded, to the south and to the southeast by a residential neighborhood. It is, buffered currently. There are other auto-related uses within the area, but they are currently zoned appropriately. So, to me,
They're outside of the transitional area where it truly transitions to neighborhood,
Right,
hence neighborhood business.
right, right. So as a result, staff did not recommend this rezoning request. The Planning and Zoning Commission also did not recommend this rezoning request. We feel as if the current zoning is appropriate for the property. I know we also had members of the community come out during the Planning and Zoning Commission as well, who expressed some concerns regarding the request.
Well, if you just look at the aerial, when you look at east of East 6th Street, it just becomes very quickly a neighborhood.
Correct.
So we look at items all the time that are inconsistent or not compatible, and but visually you can see this one
Yeah.
has a difference.
Yeah. And we did not feel that, adding auto sales or rental would be a benefit to the community. Neighborhood-oriented businesses are more in line with what that area should dictate.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
Applicant with us
I
this
believe the
evening?
applicant is in the audience in case you have any questions for them.
Okay. Any other questions for Jamie or staff? Are there any questions for the applicant? Okay, so this is a public hearing, so at this time we'll move into, we'll open the floor for public comments on item 2. We'll ask if anyone on this side of the room would like to speak during public comments. Yes, sir, behind you, believe, but just,
He's the one with the application, I'm the one opposing it.
well, you raise your hand first. Please come forward. And if you don't mind, state your name and address so our city clerk can properly record that, and welcome this
Yes,
evening.
hello. I'm Lisa Stewart with the Morristown Community Group. Miss Lydia is chair, I am her vice chair. I joined the Morristown Community Group in 2019. I saw a need for a change. Me and my husband was looking for a house, and I told my mom, I said, I'm tired of looking at all these houses. She said, when you find the right house, God will let you know. And when I pulled up to the house, it had, "Thank you, Jesus," in the front yard. I said, this is it. And I've dedicated myself to serving in the Morristown Community Group area since then. My concern with this is we have Ken's Cars 2 minutes from next door. And there's also another lot in that store. This request that he's asking does not do oil change, no maintenance on cars. It's just to sell 5 cars. Not 6 cars, not 4 cars. He stated 5 cars. It brings no benefit to the community. It doesn't bring jobs to the community, what this low-income community needs. Morristown Community Group is working hard to improve that area, and we don't see this as a benefit for that area. If anything, I feel like it's going to bring it down. Because as I stated, Ken's Cars is 2 minutes away from that store, and they're loaded with cars. And there's another dealership in that parking lot as well. This doesn't bring any benefit to the Morristown area at all. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here this evening. Anyone else on this side of the room like to speak? Yes, sir, please. Come forward. State your name and address for our city clerk.
My name is Rashid Abdallah. My address is 2153 Capstone Drive in Graham, North Carolina. I'm a real estate agent helping Mr. Tashat with the rezoning. I do want to say I'm kind of surprised by Miss Lisa Stewart's statement, because we did speak after the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting we had last month. My client currently is leasing out the business to another person. He was not aware of what was going on at the property until that day. Miss Lisa Stewart brought that to our attention. We had talked with her after the meeting. I thought we came up with a plan. My client is very familiar with Miss Lisa Stewart and the Morristown Community Group. When he was running his business out of there, he actually provided plenty of opportunities for that community group to do their outreach through his business. You can ask them, they would set up tables for the youth and to do like education in the neighborhood. There were not as many problems in that space when my client was there. He kind of like kept everyone in check because he's been there for a long time. So unfortunately, once he transitioned out and leased the space, things went the other direction. My client did evaluate all the uses under the neighborhood business zoning. He did not feel that any of those uses will bring any kind of improvement to the area. He felt like if he utilized any of those business models, they would actually, get more of the bad group of people kind of gathering in that same location, which they already are. The only thing he can come up with was auto sales. It's kind of one of those things where you come buy a car and you leave. You don't really have to stick around for anything, if you're buying a car. It's going to be a mom and pop shop. There is no space for him to have 20 cars on the lot, as you guys see. It's pretty small. The building to the side is what he's going to use to operate the car dealership. And then he's kind of, we had talked with Miss Lisa Stewart that, if the rezoning does get approved, that he would continue to work with them in turning that neighborhood around. And since he knows all the people there, he would kind of get them back in check again so they don't have she mentioned there's like drug abuse issues outside, some violence or unsafety issues outside. That none of these things were there when my client was running the business out there. So we're trying to, through this, it's really the only business model that he believes that will be successful in that type of environment. And he will be forced really to turn it around if he wants to keep that second business successful. He does need to clean up the area and get it and make it safe again. And he had already talked to Ms. Lisa Stewart, and he told her how he's willing to work with the Morrowtown Community Group to get that area back to what it was before. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you. Is there any other? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for our records, please.
My name is Lydia Jones. I live at 709 Avon Avenue, and I'm the chair for the Morrowtown Community Group. I've been in that area for close to 30 years, and I can't see a use for another car lot there. We're working hard to try to build it back up. There has been a lot of drugs in that area. Matter of fact, if I tell the truth, I saw drugs sold in his store several years ago. Around the store, the fence beside the store, through the fence, I saw people pull up and buy drugs. My thing is, there's a lot of things that's missing in our community in walking distance for the people that don't have transportation. We don't have a grocery store close by. We don't have a drugstore close by. A laundromat close by. We focus on working with the kids in the community. We need more tutoring programs in the community. We need more mentors in the community. We need more positive people to help us to change the community. And thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on this side of the room like to speak on item 2? Not anyone on this side of the room like to speak? Seeing no additional speakers, I'll entertain a motion to close public comments.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Public comments are closed at this time. Are there any other questions for staff? If not, we'll entertain a motion on item 2 with the yellow sheet provided in your package.
Jamie, if you could, could you review again some of the differences between what's allowed now, neighborhood businesses, and to this general business? I mean, if we make this change in rezoning, give us an idea of what could occur or what may occur, or, asking you to project the future here, but at least we need to find out
Sure.
potentially what could happen.
So right now, the property is neighborhood business. Under the current situation, any use that's allowed in neighborhood business zoning district, which there's 15 of them as an example shown on this slide.
Right. Good.
Any of these uses could occur without any rezoning request. The buildings, could be converted to any of these uses, and things just done administratively for the most part.
And that includes retail?
Correct.
As a matter of fact, a convenience store would be allowed, just no gasoline.
That's right.
Yeah, convenience alone. Yeah.
The only change, there's 2. So if they change the zoning to general business, then you get that increase in a residential density to 24 units per acre. And then the auto sales or rental would be included as part of the request. That is not currently allowed right now. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, so in other words, the big difference here is if you would make that change in a potential residential classification at some point in time, would allow up to 24
That's right.
units.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that they would all fit there, but they would have the ability to apply that density to that size property to calculate out the number of allowable units rather.
If you think about the concept of this neighborhood, and certainly visually it is a neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
Very, very visual neighborhood. And you think about coffee shop, convenience store, nail salon, recreation, laundry, medical, office professional, those are neighborhood complementary businesses. And I think that's an important aspect to our zoning and what it recognizes that a community needs to look like.
And that neighborhood has been a neighborhood ever since I came here in 1975, if you think about it, in terms of residential development.
Yeah.
It's been there. And it certainly has, it's been over 40 years, and it's continued. And it's been some really, in some communities, some of the homes has been substantial improvements made in that area also. And the Moretown Group, thank you for that, doing that. That means an awful lot. I know former Councilmember Kathy Hikes was really involved in that, so we appreciate your efforts there.
Yep. Any other questions or comments by council? If not, we'll entertain a motion on item 2.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to recommend denial of the request to rezone property from neighborhood business NB to general business limited use GBLU. The property is located on the southwest corner of the intersection of Avon Avenue and South Mebane Street on the west side of Avon Avenue, addressed as 806 South Mebane Street, and consisting of Alamance County Tax Identification Number 135384. The motion is based upon the inconsistency of the proposed rezoning with the comprehensive plan in that the future land use map in Section 4 land use of the comprehensive plan calls for this area to have traditional residential uses. The requested zoning is not necessary for this location. This action is reasonable and in the public interest in that the requested rezoning is incompatible with the existing land uses in the area, and the current zoning is preferable for the area.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Owen. We have a motion on the floor to deny the request. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? This request is denied. Thank you, everyone, for your participation in our public hearing. At this time, we will move to new business. City Council will consider temporarily closing South Main Street between Davis Street and Front Street on March 30th, 2024 from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. during the Burlington Beer Works 5th anniversary party and special event. This is contingent upon meeting all requirements of the special event permit application. At this time, we'll recognize Recreation Supervisor of Special Events, Sean Kavirian. Welcome.
Mr. Mayor, Council. Yes, so Burlington Beer Works is hoping to host their 5th anniversary party on the 1 block street of Main Street between Davis and Front. During that time, they plan on having live music. I believe they're featuring some local farmers market vendors that they utilize at their restaurant, as well as kids activities and other festivities. The event will run from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And myself or Ms. Tracy Schmidt is here if you have any specific questions about the event or the closure.
Well, where did the 5 years go? Because it seems like it was just last year. Doesn't it seem like it just opened? Any questions with staff or any comments on this request? If not, we'll entertain a motion on this street closure as requested.
Make a motion.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Tracy, for being with us, and we wish you the best with that event. Item 4, City Council will consider temporarily closing the following downtown areas on Saturday, May 18th, 2024, from 6 a.m. until 5 p.m. during the annual car show special event hosted by the Alamance Regional Antique Automobile Club of America. This is contingent upon meeting all requirements of the special event permit application. The closure will be Front Street from South Worth Street to South Spring Street, South Main Street from East Davis Street to East Front Street, City Lot number 1, the back half of the lot closest to the Webb Avenue portion, and City Lot number 2. This time we'll recognize Sean once again to go over the details of this request.
Thanks again. Yes, so I believe this is coming up on the 19th or 20th year that it's been hosted at the Historic Depot. I'm sure it's been going on longer than that at other locations. But it's always been a great, successful event. I know the community really enjoys going to it. They are requesting from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Of the closure of Front Street from Worth to Spring, Main Street from Davis to Front, and then again that back portion of City Lot number 1, really where that median splits the lot in half towards Webb Avenue, and then City Lot number 2, which is if you're facing the depot on the left-hand side. Again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or there's some representatives from the AACA here with me today.
Well, I know this event's been going on for quite some time. How many cars do we have participate?
Oh, what did we have last year, 100?
They usually 100 to 120.
Yep.
That's
About
pretty.
1,000 to 1,200 people come in.
Yeah. I know it's a well-known event, and a lot of people really look forward to that. So that's wonderful. Any questions for Sean on this, or yeah? If not, we'll entertain a motion on the street closures.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it is approved. Thank you. We appreciate you gentlemen being here. Item 5, City Council will consider a request for the use of Lake Camac for the swimming portion of the 19th Annual Buckner Mission Man Triathlon, hosted by the Front Street Methodist Church on July 20th, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is contingent upon meeting all requirements of the special event permit application process. And once again,
I'm eating up all the new business tonight. So this event, again, has been going on for many years, long since before I got here with the city. Unfortunately, Mr. David Hoxie was not available to make it tonight, but I'm familiar enough with the event that I'd be comfortable answering any questions. They are requesting to use the lake for their swimming portion. It says 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Really, I think the first group kicks off at 7 a.m. They're usually all out of the water by 8 a.m. I know we work with many local law enforcement agencies and rescue teams, as well as our aquatics department or division for lifeguards to ensure everyone stays safe while in the water. It's really a great event. They raise a ton of money. And yeah, if there's any other specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
well, I always say I'm going to participate in the car show. Harold, you're going to have to do the mission.
I've got that over.
Any questions for Sean? If not, we'll entertain a motion on the request on item number 5.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That item is approved as well. And then item 6, City Council will consider a request for the use of Lake Camac for St. Mark's Church to hold an immersion baptism service at the marina on August 4th, 2024 from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. This again is contingent upon meeting all requirements of the special event permit application process. So Sean, take it away one more time.
Last one for tonight, I promise. So I believe Ms. Jessica Flake is here with us from St. Mark's St. Mark's Church in regards to their immersion baptism. Again, this is an event that's been going on for many years. I know they get quite a turnout out there. The event is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., but I believe the immersion portion is somewhere around 10 to 12.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. And again, working with city staff and our aquatics division, we make sure we have ample lifeguards on duty to ensure everyone's safety. If you have any questions for myself or Ms. Flake?
I know this is always a well-attended event. It's become a community-attended event in addition to those that are participating in the baptism service. So,
Sean, you realize since you bring all these 4 up, you're responsible for the weather.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that technology that you can just push a button and the clouds will go away, the sun will come out, perfect 80-degree weather. We're still working on that, but for now, I'll just keep my fingers crossed.
There you go. Well, any questions?
No question.
If not, we'll entertain a motion for the approval of the request from St. Mark's Church.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that is approved. We appreciate you being with us this evening. That concludes our new business. At this time, we will move into public comments. I believe we do have just one public comment this evening, is that right? We have Pastor Gene Cates, 522 Burlington. Mr. Cates, please come. You've been here a bunch. You know the deal. Please clarify your address for Beverly, if you don't mind.
My church is 522 Trollope Street, Burlington. I'm the pastor of Freedom Fellowship Church, director of Westside Project. My reason for coming tonight is because I work during the day and it's real hard for me to get a hold of different people. So I've been sitting down for about 6 months. That's probably why you haven't seen me. We've been opening up everything on Trollope Street. We purchased the buildings. We're remodeling the buildings. We're opening up we call it a grocery store. We don't call it a food bank. We're remodeling now. It's going to be a bit larger than Loaves and Fishes was. And so in doing that, a lot of the homeless come to me, wanting this, wanting that. I said, well, the word accountability comes to mind. I said, if you want something, you're going to work for it. So I put them to work. As y'all all know, I go out in the fields. We clean up the fields for farmers. We get all the food. It's called the Ugly Food Program. We get all the food out of there we can. We bring it back. Then other companies all over the state brings us food all the time. We get up to 40,000 pounds of apples, tomatoes, you name it, they bring it. We put them to work. So I've been working with a company out of Texas and looking at property, especially by a few empty parking lots, especially behind Trollope Street and the old mill. And I know y'all have all heard of pallet homes that Greensboro been doing. I've been in touch with them as well. What we want to do, and we want to sit down and discuss this, and area churches are working with us, we want to purchase pallet homes to put on a property that is approved. They'll be able to live there for 1 year in those pallet homes. This will not cost the city a dime. The churches are coming together to purchase every one of them. Once they are established there, the rule is, again, there must be accountability. If you're living in one of these pallet homes, you must be trying to get a job. While you're not having a job, you will work at a thrift store, a game room, or a food bank, or you'll volunteer somewhere, but you must have working. It's not somewhere you can lay out and just hang out. So with that we're doing, we want to see who we talk with, what's the legal thing to do about it, and like I said, different churches are coming together to purchase these. They cost anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 a piece. They come with air conditioning and heat and one bed and a plate and microwave. These homes will be, I have blueprints from Texas. They already have a community of them. Our objective is to give them 1 year to get the jobs, get on their feet, get in a home, to do that, and get off the streets. And that's what we come for today, is we just need help to whom we need to speak with. Sure. We don't want to do nothing wrong. And
we don't want you to.
No, we don't want to either. I can play dumb just so much.
Well, we've got Craig, Noel, and Jamie. Maybe if we can share some contact information right after the meeting, and then if we need to schedule a time to sit down and talk with you about what you guys are trying to do and how that would fit into our code and what's allowable, then we're certainly more than willing to do that. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Who's the owner of the property now?
Which one?
The mill area there, your bigger broad area, open space.
I can't pronounce his name. He's wanting to sell it, and believe it or not, I wanted to buy it, but I ain't got the money. So he wants a little more than a lot of the churches could come together, because the idea was to turn that church, we heard talk with some contractors, turn that building into housing, a gymnasium, a place where elderly could go, a restaurant. But there's so much, and plus they just fixed the roofs, but there's still so much leakage in that building, it'd be overwhelming to fix it. So we want to buy their parking lot, and because if we sell it, the old parking lot still, if you pull it up, you'll still see the old houses still listed in the Burlington archives, you want to call it that way, but every one of them still has a house there. I don't know why, but it's the parking lot, but when you look it up, it shows the houses. And that's basically kind of where we wanted to put it, because it's a fenced-in area. It's a community I worked in all my life. And it's an area where the people in the community will help me out as well.
Jamie, with this very presumptuous, but would this take a zoning change?
We would need to delve a little bit more into what he's proposing. I don't know the answer to that currently.
It's a pretty cool idea, though.
We've been working on it for a few months, and we just kind of got together and I said, well, let's find out what legally we got to do. Let's go to the next step.
Yep. We'll look at it with staff, and then council's more than willing to meet with staff and talk about it and see what we can do to try to assist if it is indeed fits within what we can do.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's good seeing you again.
I have one question for you.
Mr. Kate?
Good to see you again. It's been some years. Thank God for your heart and you're still doing what you're doing. I have one question. So where exactly on Charlinger are you speaking of? I know your thrift store was here.
Yeah, the thrift store, there's a thrift store, the game room, and the food bank's the in-building we're remodeling now.
Are we going back towards the store way, towards
No,
Front Street?
No, the building, where the building sits at.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind the building is the old Plaid Mill parking lot.
Yes, sir.
And that is all fenced in. And the craziest thing is, if you pull up to look at it, it still has the house addresses. For some reason, I don't know why. It's not listed the parking lot, it's still listed in the house address.
Is that Anadine? Is that on the corner with Anadine Mill?
Yeah, it used to be the old Plaid Mill.
Plaid Mill's what it was.
But up on but you're gonna make that right and kind of go
Well, as soon as you
behind.
turn off Trollinger, you go up Plaid, and then there it's a fenced-in parking lot.
On the
We can
right?
get- Yep.
Okay.
We can get, we get at least 20 in there.
Thank you for all you
Thank
did.
you. That's all of our public comments this evening. We'll move into council comments at this time. I have a few items on our list. One is we did meet with city staff on Friday to discuss with Jennifer Emo and our sort of lobbyists in DC kind of what our federal agenda is for 2024. Everybody should have a copy of that as it was proposed. We did ask that they specifically start looking at things like homeless and how that impacts municipalities. That is largely a federal issue that we need some assistance with. So we did ask Jennifer to add that to the discussion points, as well as perhaps working with the Federal Highway Administration on the potential of getting some permissive approvals for Tucker Street if the state, at what point in time, the state would agree that we can put an interchange there at Tucker Street. We all know that Alamance Road is currently DOT's working on expanding Alamance Road from Church Street all the way to the interstate, but it's still not going to really save us any congestion on the interstate piece. So we do know that's an issue that we're going to have to continue to look at. But everybody's got a copy of that, and I wanted to be sure we brought up those couple of extra topics that we had them add to that. Also, as a reminder, our Burlington Fire Department is going to host a graduation ceremony on February 23rd, which is Friday, at 2 p.m. It is for the 114th and 115th recruit academics, or academies, and that's at the Paramount, which it typically is at the Paramount. And we want to congratulate Matt Lawrence, our new fire chief, who will be sworn in at that point in time as well. Is that correct?
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Matt. I want to really thank Craig and the efforts that we put forth. It was a very deliberative process, and we appreciate you being there along the way with us. But it's nice to have that piece put in place, and this will be a really special event. So I want to remind everybody of that. Another item is everybody should have received an email. I just felt like it was really worth some public commentary about it. Chief Balog sent us an email that we received notice that one of the Alamance Narcotics Enforcement Team's cases, Operation Whitewell, has won a high-intensity drug trafficking area award from the excellence from the Office of the National Drug Control Policy. So, Chief, congratulations on that. I want to reiterate the level of professionalism and the amount of training and just sheer law enforcement competency that our local BPD has. And everyone should be very proud. We're proud as an elected body. I am always bragging on these men and women everywhere I go, but I want the community to understand just the type of people that we have with our police force and the leadership team. And I'm looking forward to chatting about this even more. But we read about the events. We get briefed on events that happen throughout the community. And I just wish everyone could see what we see about how professional and trained, well-trained our staff is. And this is just a small piece of that. And I really wanted to tell everyone on the BPD how much we appreciate them and congratulate them on that. We also received some word from McMichael Mills. I think McMichael Mills announced that they were shutting down. I believe there was 81 employees that's going to be affected. They were required to give state notice, and we received copies of that as well. We're working with the chamber and others about establishing a potential job fair for these folks. And I did ask city staff if we could reach out to the Toyota battery plant, if we could indeed put together a job fair, maybe have them come. So I did want the community to know that we were doing everything we could possibly do to help with that transition for those employees as well. St. Patty's Day, the downtown event, is March 15th. Is that right, Sean?
Yeah.
So that's the 5th event you got to talk about. So that's always a big event. That's just around the corner. And just a reminder, and obviously we were just talking about during public comments about the homeless issue. I know there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of community concern about homeless downtown once again. We have addressed that. We're looking at a more comprehensive plan. Craig, I think we're going to hear in March at the work session.
Yes, sir.
But obviously this is more than just those that need a place. There's some mental health issues. There's some drug abuse issues. It's much deeper and broader than just being homeless. But it does not negate the fact that when citizens are out and about, that can be very concerning and very complicated. So we've asked staff to kind of look at what we can do on a more comprehensive basis, and we'll hear about that in March to be sure that everyone's understanding that we've got our hands on it. And just as I said in the prayer tonight, some of the issues that we have, there's no clear answer. But we have to keep working on it together and looking at what our options are. And I'm a firm believer that if we work long enough and hard enough and we collaborate enough, the answers will come and it'll get resolved. So I appreciate everyone's attention to that. And then lastly, I think Tony's summer camp registration begins March 1st.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So for those in need of summer camp, March 1st is the beginning. So we want to be sure everybody knows about that. So any other council comments? If not, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Unless David wants to go into closed session to talk.